The number you have dialed has been changed.
What's going on, guys? My name is Vinci. We're here. We're about to watch the entire process of me creating a oil painting from start to finish. And here I am. I'm trying something new. We're going to be doing a voiceover because I'm feeling adventurous. I'm feeling like there could be something here. And if you guys like this type of content, be sure to show me your feedback because it helps me know if it's good or not. And it helps me decide if I want to keep doing this or not. So show that support. Anyway, I'm starting off with this painting by sketching on a prepped canvas that I let dry overnight, and I'm using a mixture of white and red to create this sketch. And I'm doing this because it creates a nice contrast and it helps me see what I am drawing. What I'm doing is trying to keep this as clean as possible. In a way, I do that sometimes, the majority of the time, is a preliminary sketch. So I have a little shitty, terrible drawing of this same owl in one of my notebooks. And you do this because the pre-sketch doesn't matter. It helps you decipher this image you're trying to paint, and it helps you create a more accurate representation of it in the long run. So do a pre-sketch. It makes this process a whole lot easier. I also wanted to create a very flat, jagged, lined landscape to contrast this lively, beautiful owl. And starting off, I mixed all of my colors before I even started painting. So when I am painting, I'm completely focused on laying paint down on the canvas, and I'm not losing focus mixing paint every other minute. I take the time. I take about 30 minutes to mix my entire palette beforehand, so I have that entire thing set before I even touch the canvas. What this does is allow you to control your color palette. You don't want a bunch of rogue colors lying around. Whatever you spontaneously came up with while you were mixing paint on your canvas. You want to follow color theory, and the palette I chose to go with was blue, green, and red, orange. So blue and green are going to be the most prominent in here, which I do by increasing the saturation of those colors. The orange is very minor. It's very subdued in the saturation. And you want to do this with certain colors in your palette because you don't want the whole thing being full saturation. It makes things hard to look at. You want this to be nice, soft, crisp, and professional looking. If not, it doesn't matter. We're just having fun in this process. It is painting at the end of the day, so don't take this too seriously. These are just basic guidelines I'm giving you. You don't have to follow these to a T. These are just general ideas to help you make your painting a little bit better. So the most important thing in this entire process is gonna be patience. And I painted this entire thing with these small flathead brushes, which is not ideal. Don't do this. Those are just the only brushes I had, and I made it work. And I had to be patient when I was laying down paint, and I had to make sure all of the lines and different values I was laying down were very clean and crisp. I didn't want it to be messy, or I didn't want to mix any of these colors. I wanted it all to be very cohesive and sharp. My girlfriend actually, she saw this painting last night, and she said the first thing she thought of was Minecraft, which, yes, sure, it's just Minecraft. um anyway, where do I go from here? I'm not doing another take. I'm not editing this. I want this to be full Bob Ross status. I'm not going to put too much into the editing because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm still learning. So bear with me during this process. As you can tell, I have a really shitty mic. I'm using Apple headphones, so bear with me. But like I said, it's all not too serious at the end of the day. It's just art. You're supposed to enjoy the process. Love what you're doing. Love what you're creating. Don't judge it too much. When you start judging it, that's when you lose the fun. That's when you start taking things too seriously, and it doesn't all matter that much. Now, what I'm starting with right now is the contrast colors and core shadows in this owl. I do this because those are going to be the most important thing that creates shape in an object. It is the foundation of your painting. Think of it like a house. You have to lay down this nice solid groundwork in order for it to look good and feel good at the end of the day. And the next step in the process is the neutral or midtones. This is everything in between the darkest dark and the highlight. And what I'm focusing on doing is creating these smaller shapes that make up the larger image. And I'm making sure to keep the darks separate from the lights. You don't want to shade, you don't want to mix these colors. When you lay down a light color, keep it where it is. Don't blend it, don't mix it. It doesn't matter if anything's showing through. Just make sure it is where it needs to be. You can always go back over later to blend these things and make sure there's canvas showing, or to make sure there's not canvas showing, and to make sure it all looks very cohesive and clean. And one of my goals with this owl is to make it very soft and lifelike, because I want it to contrast with the background that's very rough, hard. There's hard edges. I want it to feel like a lifelike owl in this surreal landscape. And to do that, I am making it very fluffy. Owls are made of feathers. You want it to feel soft and feathery, and I made sure to use very broad, smooth, just smooth brush strokes. This allows me to create that sort of effect. And at the end of the day, when you're creating a 3D object on a 2D surface, one of the most important things you can do is build these shapes. Build all these little shapes out that make up the larger object. Don't think about the whole object as one complex object. Think of it as a series of simple shapes. It can all be easily broken down. Anyone can do this. Anyone can figure out this process and be very good at it very quickly. At the end of the day, it's just art. Can't take it too serious. And I say this as I'm taking it too serious. Oh, another side note. When I was laying down the colors for this landscape, I kept it very not subdued, but neutral to dark in the value scale. I kept it this way because I knew my owl was going to be mostly lighter on the value scale, and I wanted that owl to really pop. And you can use this positive and negative space to create a very striking image. It's that's very effective for doing that sort of thing. Right now, because I laid down all of that groundwork before with the darks and neutral midtones in this owl, I'm going over with the highlights and really solidifying this owl as a thing, a object, an animal, and making it pop out from the painting. And you want to save the highlights for the last stage in this process because that's what's gonna allow you, that's what's gonna make it look right. That's what's gonna make it feel right. And that's just the most coherent process I've found when creating this sort of thing. So anyway, I appreciate you guys watching. Let me know what you think down below. I have paintings and prints for sale on my website. Go check it out. Go tell me what you think. Go follow me on Instagram. I love you. Thank you for watching. You're beautiful. Until next time.